All right. What's up, guys? It is Wednesday night. I got so excited that I'm banging my computer screen with my microphone. But it's Wednesday night. You already know what it is. Welcome back, Jake. Proud new papa. He's back in action. We are no longer a three-man weave. We're playing real varsity basketball tonight. Anyway, it is SEC After Dark. It's the night of the week that hopefully all of you guys look forward to. I'm Corey Burton. Joining me is the aforementioned Jake Thomas from Tide Talk Live. Jeb Beecham eventually will introduce his podcast. Not sure when, though. Stephen Willis from Locked On Ole Miss. And myself, Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, and Locked On Vandy. And we join forces right here to bring you this show that is presented by DeadSoxy. If you want to support Ole Miss NIL, please pick you up some DeadSoxy socks. So what you got to do is you got to go to DeadSoxy.com and browse through the different types of socks. You have the Lane Train socks that Steve has right there. It comes in a nice box, like the one over Steve's right shoulder. You can get in just plain ones too, like no Ole Miss specific ones as well. Like if you're not an Ole Miss fan, so don't feel like you're left out in the cold there. But what you have to do, though, this is how you get the good deal. You sign up for the membership. Okay, the membership allows you a 25% discount on all purchases, free shipping, and a free gift. It's probably How to Teach Your Cat About Gun Safety. I think that's the free gift, but it's a really good read, especially when you have a lot of leisure time. Anyway,
or cats.
You need to know if you got cats. So go to DeadSoxy.com now. Sign up for your membership. Supporting Ole Miss NIL. Buy some good socks. And as always, when you walk around, you have to tell people, stay soxy, my friends.
You know what time it is? It's time to get locked on pickles, everybody. That's Stewart Cajun Pickles, that is. They offer a variety of Cajun spice products like pickles, green beans, okra, even carrots, and asparagus. This is a family-owned company. Homemade on the coast of Mississippi, Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles has been pleasing pickle lovers for over 20 years now, and they've become the South's favorite pickle. These truly are the best pickles you'll ever have. A strong dill flavor with a Cajun punch, no over sour taste. Remember to refrigerate them and not end up like Corey. This being a small business, they strive to keep the produce fresh and local from the start, keeping the final pickle product extra crisp and crunchy. You can find these pickled products online at pickledstore.com or at your local Rouse's Market or other Gulf Coast Southern stores near you. Be sure to like Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles product on Facebook and Instagram. Try these pickles, okra, or beans today. You will not be disappointed. Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, the South's favorite pickle.
Yes, it should be. So, got a great show. Of course, we're presented by BetOnline.ag as well. The number one sports book for all your sports wagering needs. If you want it, they've got it there. If you like playing casino games, they've got those as well. So visit BetOnline.ag, enter the promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, to get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline.ag is where the game starts. So speaking of that, let's talk about the before we get into SEC After Dark, we're going to go Super Bowl After Dark for just 1 minute. All right. Actually, probably longer than just 1 minute. But so as a result of the Super Bowl, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Chiefs won.
Yeah.
And Steve Wilks got fired today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
49ers.
Yeah, you give up 19 in regulation to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's obviously a fireable offense.
Yeah, I know, right?
You obviously lost the Super Bowl because of him.
Right.
Yeah, you're the only team that's sacked Patrick Mahomes all year long. So clearly defense is a problem. So I thought that was very odd. Maybe there's something more to it, but
yeah, I feel like there's got to be something we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, I noticed my Super Bowl thing is I found out who Ice Spice was.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and it turns out she's Toad from Super Mario World.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Drives a mean go-kart too. Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's yeah. All the crazy conspiracy theories.
Well, Corey's
Well,
phone's acting all kind of up. You need to close the windows, buddy.
Losing it.
Everything good?
Oh yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah. You had too much stuff going on.
I had literally nothing going on.
Yeah,
that was weird. Okay, not sure what happened. Maybe it won't happen again. But
I did hear about conspiracy theory though.
I said the Ice Spice thing. All of a sudden, my headphones go out and my mic goes out. Weird. So, like when you guys saw the viral clip on social media with Taylor Swift chugging her drink, did you all see that one?
Yeah.
So over beside her, Ice Spice was throwing some of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, social media really kind of took that one and ran with it because they're talking about her like, devil worshiping, antichrist type stuff,
Illuminati crap,
yeah. Mm-hmm. The upside down cross she was wearing on her necklace, all that good stuff. It's
she was just looking out for Princess Toadstool, who is apparently Taylor Swift. Whoa. So does that make Travis Kelce like King Koopa?
Yes.
Bowser?
No, Bowser's Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
Because he looks like Bowser.
Get in the car.
What about the other viral moment where Travis Kelce pushed Andy Reid?
He was just telling him that he is his favorite coach of all time.
Yeah.
You guys know that. I mean, that happens quite a bit in football.
Yeah.
I was disgusted by it. And Jason, his brother, on their New Heights podcast, he made sure to tell him about it. And he actually, like, I thought Jason was going to be like defending him and stuff, but he kind of went after Travis a little bit. It was like, dude,
no brother love there.
That wasn't cool, dude.
No, and I don't think he really meant to shove him. Like, he just kind of caught him off guard. But at the same time, you can't do that. There's no real defending it.
I thought maybe his momentum carried him to him a little bit more, but I mean, the way that Andy Reid, he almost fell down. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I think Andy Reid
couldn't.
He was in no way prepared. It just took him by surprise.
He's had too many of those nuggies.
Yeah.
Dude,
but either way, it doesn't matter. You still don't run into your coach like that.
Right.
It's kind of like with referees. If you touch them in any way, you get thrown out. It's pretty much the same thing with your coaches, I would think.
He bumped him.
Need to be benched.
He bumped him probably accidentally, but like what followed that was he like put his hand on him, was like almost like just spun him around and was like gonna shake him. Like that's what it felt like he was gonna do. I mean, he kept moving into him to like, I don't think he could have got any closer without making contact to yell in his face. Like that was, I didn't like that at all. And you got a bunch of high school and youth players that are going to see that and go, that's acceptable. Yeah. I'm going to do that to my coach.
And it's wrong. Then they get thrown off the team. And I mean, then they don't do it anymore. I mean,
then their coach gets fired because the parent raises hell.
Yeah. I mean,
chain reaction for everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the coach goes into podcasting. I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
That coach's name is Corey Burton. No. No, it's totally unacceptable. I mean, I think if you have a good strong.
Oh, it's terrible. He's acting like a crazy person.
Yeah.
He went total. I'm not gonna say it yet because we still got our clean rating intact. But
I was shocked by because it was still early in the game. There was no reason to get that upset.
This was the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was early on. And then it was pretty frustrating. I mean, neither team was moving the ball well, but it's not like you'd gotten way behind. I don't understand what caused that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like he's been like this year, I've never seen him act that way. And now all of a sudden he gets with Taylor Swift and he's throwing his helmet.
Right.
He's pitching fits on the sidelines. He's,
the Taylor effect.
Body checking his head coach, which there's a whole nother debate on Andy Reid that I want to bring up to you guys. But is Andy Reid the greatest NFL coach of all time?
Right.
Like legitimate question. I know.
We talked about that last week. I brought it up.
But now there's a little update to the situation. is like, does that now just drive the final nail in that argument?
He took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. He took 2 teams to the Super Bowl. One he won, he's won with. The other one he didn't, but still.
That Eagles team had a lot of talent. If he was the greatest coach of all time, he'd have won that Super Bowl. He has won every Super Bowl with Pat Mahomes the same way that Bill Belichick did with Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if either one of them is the greatest coach of all time. I think the greatest coach of all time is probably somebody, I don't know, like Tom Landry or Don Shula, if we're going to be real about it.
I would say Don Shula because he's, he won a Super Bowl with 2 different teams, and one of those with the backup quarterback who was like Steve's age.
And honestly, if it wasn't for Bill Walsh and Joe Montana and a basic home Super Bowl, because if I'm not mistaken, that one was in Palo Alto when San Francisco ended up winning the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He should have got it with Dan Marino in like his second or rookie year, whatever that was. He should have had that one.
But that 49ers team, I think they would have won no matter what, because that team was freaking loaded. That was probably one of the best 49ers team, that 84 team.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. Those early 80s Dolphins teams were pretty special. Yeah. In fact, like as we always talk about, they're not the 85 Bears, talking about teams not as good as we think they are. They're not the 85 Bears. Well, if the 85 Bears had to play the Dolphins again, they were probably going to get beat.
The 85 Bears were a flash in the pan because they didn't have a franchise quarterback. They didn't have you could only sustain so much on a great defense, and I mean, if that were true, the Baltimore Ravens would have been a dynasty in the year 2000 and on, because they had the league's best defense for years. They had Trent Dilfer as quarterback.
Yeah.
And Elvis Gerback, and like the quarterbacks they were trotting out there were bad until they got Steve McNair, when Steve McNair was like at the very end of his career, and he couldn't practice the entire months of November and December because he was so banged up. Mm-hmm. Like, that was the best quarterback they had. So they're not going on a dynasty run. Like, you have to have a franchise quarterback. So I guess to settle the argument, I mean, yeah, Don Shula, but like the modern, the more recent argument of Belichick versus Andy Reid, it's really going to, I guess, come down to Mahomes or Brady.
Yeah, and Mahomes still has a few more to get before he's Brady.
But I think the argument with Andy Reid too is like the consistency. Like even in bad years, they were still good. Belichick was kind of a mess in years that he didn't have Brady.
But they didn't have anybody, because even whenever he did, Andy Reid didn't have anything. He still had like Donovan McNabb. He still had decent quarterbacks. So I think if you got into a situation where Steve DeBerg was running out at quarterback for Kansas City, you would have that same result.
You would want Don Shula coaching him because he knows how to deal with geriatric quarterbacks. But he's
a defensive coach.
So I don't know. Like,
Mahomes is only 28, so I mean he's still got 10 years in the league at least.
Yeah. I want to see him,
especially since you can't hit the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Colin Cowherd described Patrick Mahomes as MJ in a football uniform, because he's never seen any other quarterback like him.
No, that's not fair, because even MJ had to deal with the Jordan rules.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
you can't hit the quarterback. It's literally not fair and not comparable. It's terrible.
Right. It is. It's MJ made everything look so effortless, and he was just so smooth with everything. Like, and part of the definition of like being the greatest of all time is, can you duplicate that player the exact same way? And if you can, you're probably not. And MJ is somebody that hasn't been duplicated It's been close with Kobe.
Yeah.
But no. I think when you look at, I don't think you can name a singular greatest player ever, though. Because, like, where's the argument for Kareem or Shaq, who those two revolutionized the center position? You know, where does Larry Bird fit? Where does Magic Johnson fit? Magic Johnson was like the last NBA's version of the utility player that could play every position.
Well, if the kicker doesn't miss an extra point, Kansas City loses that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and after it's over, everybody's talking about how great Patrick Mahomes is. No, that was 2 lucky special teams play away from Kentucky. See, Kansas City did not play particularly well in that game.
They got after Mahomes. Now, once Mahomes got like those last couple drives in the fourth quarter, and then overtime was just a clinic. But again, San Francisco's defense was probably exhausted, so it was a little bit of both. But like, we finally saw Mahomes late in the game. Like first half, Mahomes was just getting obliterated.
Yeah. Last thought about all of this before we get into actually SEC football that people actually care about. When Chris Jones ends up not in Kansas City, which is as early as this year, the Kansas City dynasty is over.
Yeah, he was that dude. That dude probably saved 3 touchdowns by himself because there was 3 instances where a receiver was wide open in the end zone and Brock Purdy couldn't get it to him because Chris Jones had a hand in his face and was hitting him while he threw, and the ball sailed. You know, like that kind of thing.
They're talking about Chris Jones maybe in Detroit.
Ooh.
So, and Detroit gets Chris Jones and figures out how to kick a field goal, they're going to be good to go.
Hey, man, like I only kick field goals, man. We got to go for it, man.
You think they're dedicated to golf moving forward?
For another year.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a year.
For another year at least, because he's
until the hooker matures.
I think they'll extend him. I think they'll have Goff for another 3 years before they get rid of him, unless he just completely stinks up the joint.
Auburn's beating the hell out of South Carolina right now.
Nice.
Well, it's in the jungle. Of course they are.
Vandy got another win.
Yeah,
that was a big win.
Vandy still sucks at basketball, but they got to win over Texas A&M.
Not as bad as Texas A&M. Anyway, let's get into real SEC football since we've wasted 17 minutes.
I would say we wasted 17 minutes, but
I'm so over the Kansas City Chiefs, and I am eagerly waiting them to fail and embarrass themselves for the rest of their life.
Good Lord.
Alrighty.
I like the Chiefs, but I am kind of done with that.
Like a true rival.
It was good. Move on. Let's do
I would root for New England over Kansas City at this point.
Steve, you sound like a Dolphins fan. Are you converting?
No, I'm just done with Patrick Mahomes. I'm done with Travis Kelce.
They've been the reason the Dolphins can't make it out of the first round every year.
Yeah. No, the reason they can't make it out of the first round every year is they're not good enough
to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They played in 1-degree weather in January. It's their fault for not being able to beat the Bills. That's the reason they're not getting out of the first round is they can't beat the Bills.
No, they can't. They can't beat anybody.
They can't do that either.
They can't beat anybody in cold weather.
Yeah.
It's the crappy part about
they lost to them in Miami. That's the reason they didn't get a home playoff game this year.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that would have been nice. Yeah, they probably still would have lost. I like McDaniel. I like Mike McDaniel though. I think he's learning. He's getting there. All right.
I think that there's a bad problem in football right now that everybody takes flash stuff more than stuff that works. They want swag more than they want effectiveness. That's where we are in football right now.
Mm-hmm. They had a bunch of injuries too.
They want it to be flashy.
Yeah. They wanted to be flashy. He couldn't keep guys out of the training room either. So, all right, ESPN way too early top 25. But the title of our show is Texas and Oklahoma really ready?
Yeah, and we're going to get to that in just a second. We're going to talk about that because today Chris Del Conte actually spoke today with some updates about their situation. And I think Texas is actually in really good shape to get into the SEC. I think Oklahoma is a little bit behind as we speak at the moment.
Is it not a done deal?
But Texas kind of seems like they're all in. They've set basically they're referring going to the SEC as going home. Honestly, I mean they're ready. They're all in, and I think that's pretty cool.
All right. Yeah, Texas is gonna feel right at home when they get their butts handed to them a few times to welcome them to the league.
Texas isn't getting their butt handed to them a few times next year.
I know it's just wishful thinking. No,
yeah, they play Georgia, and after that, I don't know if they play another team that's even resembles being good, other than Oklahoma.
I resemble that remark. Oh, wait. Yeah, they got a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah, they got a pretty cake schedule. Although they do have to play Mississippi State, and if they're like A&M, that's going to be an L.
Yeah, they have to come.
Why is Texas A&M ranked? How did they get into the dang poll?
Right.
Because they're Texas A&M, and everybody thinks
it's like Notre Dame popping on this list at 5.
It's because it's big. I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why. I don't know what they like. What have they shown? What has Texas A&M shown that they're a top 25 team?
Hey, you need to pronounce their name correctly.
Texas 8-4. I'm sorry.
Texas 8-4.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah.
I won't let it happen again. Oh,
yeah, it's a situation. I'm so glad that Texas has come into the SEC because A&M had started to act like they were the big rich thing and all of the stuff where they thought they were entitled to win because they have all this money. So we went and got your natural predator, and we're going to release you out in the wild, and we're going to see what happens.
And I am here for Texas mauling with the Longhorn. What's it called? Gourding?
Goring.
Goring.
No
There you go. Goring. No, okay. Goring. That's what's going to happen. Bevo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And right now, if you look at SEC teams, you got 1 Georgia, 4 Texas, 6 Ole Miss, 7 Missouri, 9 Alabama, 12 LSU, 14 Oklahoma, 16 Tennessee.
Andy, the only team not ranked?
Kentucky 23 and Texas A&M 25.
Well, shit. Just go ahead and rank Vandy at this point. I mean, hey, rank the whole dang conference, man.
Well, the whole conference is better than the SEC and the Big Ten. Yeah,
I know.
Break away. That's all you have to do.
Break away. Add a few teams. Break away and have your own league. Get to 32. Break away.
Well, between the SEC and the Big Ten, they're over 32.
Oh, I was just talking about the SEC. Just the SEC. Anyway, yeah. So,
okay, who's typing?
Me.
What in the Windows 98?
Yeah, seriously. It's like the first keyboard.
You pretty much.
Click, 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 click.
Mine's real clicky. I like mine.
No, this is my keyboard right here.
Wow.
No, mine does this.
Cool. Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Steve. Mine's just
like a typewriter.
Thank you, Metro. I'll give it back.
Lights up. It's all pretty. Oh.
Yeah, mine lights up too, Jeb.
Jeb, did you need a forklift to get that thing up there?
Yeah, the cord that runs to the computer is very thick, so you gotta like pull on it kind of hard. I don't know if you see that cord back there. That thing's massive. I don't know why it's got such a thick cord. Nice.
Good grief, Jeb. Is that a gateway?
I don't know. I mean, it's a gaming computer, but I don't know if like a lot of gamers accidentally cut their cords or
compact.
That's what my keyboard is. A gaming keyboard.
Is it a Tandy? Yeah. You got a Tandy there?
It's a Corsair.
Mom, get off the phone. I need a game.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't say that back then.
Jake, you actually don't say that because you were born after that era. So,
okay, this is for Corey Burton and for everybody that's watching at home.
Uh-oh.
I was not even in high school when the internet was invented. I was an adult.
Ooh.
Wow.
I was in middle school.
I was like the last kid to have a childhood.
I mean, I was in high school.
I was in middle school, so
Well, maybe.
I had most of my childhood internet free.
When is it created?
It really kind of boomed in like 97, right?
Yeah.
I was in first grade in 97.
Like we moved from we would go play basketball during the day.
F them kids.
They come in AOL chat rooms and stuff
We played this game at work yesterday where we were talking about Windows 11 and somebody was saying that they were so old they remember like XP was their favorite, and somebody was trying to say 95 and I was like, Windows 3.1 I think was the first one I remember. I don't know if y'all know 3.1. That was so old.
98 was my first.
Can we hear about DOS?
I was gonna say 3.1 though was the evolution from DOS, and it was so revolutionary at the time. It was ridiculous. DOS was terrible. Well, I mean, unless you knew what you were doing.
God, my mom used to have this when I was a kid. She did like graphic design, and she had this. I mean, it was a freaking lab table. It was enormous, and it probably weighed 1,000 pounds, and it had all these like disk drives that were like this long, and the floppy disk were like binders. Like that held like 1 megabyte of data,
Oh, we had stacks like that. Yeah.
I mean, she had there's like this table, like it was this whole setup. And it's just like big, huge monitor that probably weighed 75 pounds. And it had this little screen. It was green and had these keys that were like this long, and you hit it and you could hear it from down the street.
We had games. Yeah. You'd put in one floppy disk, start playing the game. And partway through the game, you had to stop, put in the other floppy disk. Because one just couldn't hold the whole game,
Yeah. My first game, the floppy disk at least shrank to like index card size.
Yeah. It's little hard ones.
Dude, I was a freaking wizard at Oregon Trail, dude.
Yeah, I loved Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail and Running the World's Carmen San Diego were two games I played a lot.
Oregon Trail was it.
Yeah, Santiago, Chile. That's where she was. Always. Santiago, Chile.
Carmen San Diego loves Santiago.
Oh.
Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? All right. Now that my childhood is back in full. No, Steve, I had my entire childhood was spent outside until I got to middle school and discovered the internet. And I was still outside during the day. But
man, social media didn't get invented until I was in my mid to late 20s.
I was gonna say it was past college.
I'm glad I was not in college when the social media thing hit.
Me too.
Well, I was like tail end of college, but like it still wasn't a thing to where like you would have a phone in your face every 2 seconds.
Yeah, nobody had cameras in their phone back when I was in college. Thank God.
Yeah, I'd be a viral clip somewhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Probably clips.
So with Texas and Oklahoma coming in, what do you think the games of the year in the SEC in 2024 are?
Texas Vandy, obviously. I mean, mark it down on the calendar.
Vandy does have a winning record against the Longhorns.
Right.
So maybe I wasn't kidding. No, Texas, Georgia, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that'll be a good one.
Georgia, Ole Miss.
Georgia, Ole Miss, which has nothing to do with Texas coming in, but
just games of the year in the SEC next year.
Okay.
I don't think
with the new schedules, I haven't learned who all's playing who now because there's no division, so you can't really anticipate. But
first Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC, that should be interesting.
That would be interesting. I think Georgia at Alabama will be good with the whole Kalen DeBoer stuff and the new coach.
Kirby is going to curb stomp Alabama next year. He's going to take out from frustration.
I hope you're right.
Just on the uniform.
Good luck.
Just on the uniform. Kirby is going. Nick Saban's not over there. It's going to be like that Louisiana coach from the Water Boy looking across the field at the other coach and is making him a cartoon character or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay. And he's just going to go at that point. He's going to start drawing up magical ball plays.
With Spurrier? Draw some ball plays.
Their first SEC game should be interesting. I think Texas has like Mississippi State though, which that shouldn't be too difficult. But Oklahoma's first SEC game will be Tennessee going there, and that'll be fun.
That will be fun.
Who does Ole Miss play outside of Georgia? That's big time opponent.
They go to LSU.
That'll be
a big game, and they play Oklahoma at home. That's their major games.
And Bama has Georgia. Who else does Bama have that's big? Do y'all play LSU?
Got to go to Tennessee. Got to go to LSU. Got to play Missouri at home, and got to go to Oklahoma.
Oh. Yeah, that's a pretty rough schedule.
I'll tell you, it's a rough schedule. It's Florida. Florida has a brutal schedule.
No, Florida has an evil schedule.
Yeah.
For whoever, like I said, and I've said this on my show, whoever made Florida's schedule for next year should be fired with cause.
Billy and Napier are about to be fired.
Or given a raise, one or the other. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm fine with giving him a raise.
Yeah, I am too. I like Billy Napier. He's a great coach.
And after what UCF does to them on their home field next year, I'm going to laugh.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Hey, I'm going to apply for the job of the game changer coordinator.
Hey, no, they did something even better at Florida because they have a defensive coordinator in that Austin Anderson guy. Well, they hired Ron Roberts as the head coach of the defense over the defensive coordinator, who hasn't changed.
What?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you got me.
What?
You have a head coach of the defense, and you've got a defensive coordinator on the same staff.
How's that going to work?
What is with these titles?
Yeah.
Are they just making up stuff?
No, absolutely just making up stuff.
That is
head coach of the defense, defensive coordinator.
What in the Michael Scott is this crap?
So who is calling plays?
Oh, Ron Roberts is going to be the person calling plays because the head coach is in charge of a defensive coordinator.
Makes no sense.
The head coach of the strength coordinators.
Well, not a game changer coordinator. No, special teams coordinator is the game changer coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
They need a lot of game changers because they put out a list of the top programs in the SEC over the last 3 years or something like that. And obviously number 14 was Vanderbilt. Congratulations, Corey.
Yeah.
But number 15 was, or number 13 was Auburn, and number 12 was Florida.
Huh.
Solid. All right, here's the coaches at Florida. I think I just infected my computer by opening up FloridaGators.com. So you want to know why they're in trouble? Here's why they're in trouble. Offensive coordinator Rob Sale. All right. This is the title. Here's the title. Executive head coach, co-defensive coordinator, inside linebackers, Ron Roberts. That's his official title.
Oh my God.
Jabbar Jaluk, I think is how you say his name. He's the associate head coach in running backs. Then you got Russ Callaway, tight ends. Billy Gonzalez is his coaching staff's not very good. Craig Fitzgerald
obviously is not very good.
Mark Hockey. What the hell does he do?
He skates.
So your director of football nutrition and assistant strength coach can't get a picture, but your equipment assistant, Jake Bleav, gets a picture? What are we doing here? Yeah. Wow. This looks like a staff that's we'll keep an eye on these names, see where they end up next year.
Not at Florida.
College personnel assistant. Is that the new pro scout?
That sounds like that girl that was like Brian Harson's assistant.
Oh.
Except it's Tyler Henderson.
Well, it's Billy Napier.
Yeah. So associate director of sports health for football. What is that? Is that the trainer?
I guess.
Director of creative media. They have a lot of people in this operation. Oh, here we go. Football business manager and Gator Maid coordinator.
Gator Made.
Made, not Gatorade, Gator Made.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
These are hilarious. Director of football logistics. That guy should be fired.
How do you have? What are football logistics?
I don't know.
Is that the ops person?
Guy just runs numbers. I don't know.
Probably. They got a lot of
what?
Director of sports health. Wait a second. They
just did Billy Napier just hire his friends?
Pretty much.
The hell is it? Like they have two guys with the same title. What is this? Director of sports health. Director of college personnel. Director of sports health. Graduate assistant game changer. Yeah.
Game changer.
Gotta love that. Director of football communications. What does that mean? And then lastly on the football staff is the assistant director.
Just assistant director.
And then in parentheses, men's and women's golf and football.
What? Oh, okay. That's an AD thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But just assistant director.
They showed some highlights of the Arkansas basketball game.
This is fun. I'm going to look at some other staffs. Let's see.
Arkansas, their basketball team is the most church league looking basketball team I've ever seen in college basketball. I mean, Arkansas is legitimately snowbirding. Now they're getting beat by 10, but they got a couple of layups just because they were snowbirding on plays whenever
they beat Georgia somehow. I don't know how that happened.
They have some good players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Musselman wants to get out of there. At least he's coaching like it. Yeah. I think Musselman would do a mighty fine job at Louisville.
Probably so. All right, let's see. They have a normal title, special teams coordinator.
What?
So what's the difference between an assistant head coach and an associate head coach? What's the difference in that?
About $100,000.
But as far as like
all it is, it's an excuse to pay your coach more money.
Yeah, true. Assistant strength and conditioning coach, sports science. That's cool. All right. Yeah, they have they have normal people, normal positions.
It like sounds like some weird participation football trophy stuff.
Right.
You're all head coaches. What?
Football chief of staff, football operations.
Oh.
They don't have any weird titles. Everything you know by their title what they do. Yeah, good job, Arkansas.
Oh shoot,
this is fun. You guys keep talking. I'm in a wormhole now.
If Auburn could play the NCAA tournament in Neville Arena, they'd win.
Yeah,
they'd win the NCAA title.
Yeah, that juju down there, just like it is football games.
Did you say Juju? Juju Smith-Schuster. Let's see.
Yeah, Nathan Rutherford just said, probably all subject, but Auburn's been the crap out of South Carolina. 50-28 at halftime, I think I just saw.
It's 50-32 right now.
50-32. Okay. Good Lord.
Oh, Ryan Russell. Listen to his assistant director of athletics, executive director of athletic performance. Long title. He had to get front and back on his business card.
Okay. We need to let's move on to the Oklahoma Texas discussion.
Sorry, got in a little.
Daniel had a question real quick. Wants to know which SEC coach is fired by November this year.
Sam Pittman.
Clark Lee.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Knowing how bad the season's going to be for Florida, is Billy Napier on the hot seat, or are they just
what about Shane Beamer?
So they got let it go?
Shane Beamer, Billy Napier, Clark Lee, Sam Pittman.
I think Pittman goes mid-season.
Texas A&M may try to fire Jimbo Fisher again. I mean, they paid enough money for it; they should be able to.
Yeah,
milk that a little bit.
Tennessee's going to fire Jeremy Pruitt again.
If only we could.
I think once a quarter, Kirby's going to get fired next year. So Mike Bobo got fired 100 times last year, probably.
Hey, and they were right, because if you look at it, they were. What was the argument? What was the play? Was it the dropped Isaiah Bond pass that was ruled a reception or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the play where everybody lost their mind?
Yeah, they didn't review it. But they should have reviewed it, though. But even if they didn't overturn the call, I think they should have at least reviewed it. I mean, it wasn't a catch, but even I would have been fine if they reviewed it and said it wasn't a catch. I still would have been a little upset, but I would have been like, okay, well, they reviewed it at least, so nothing more you can do. It's leaving that on the table for me is not cool. But
yeah,
bully for Alabama for pulling off that win. I'm not taking anything away from them, but it makes me so angry knowing what Georgia would have done to Michigan.
Yeah, because I think Kirby hates Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any respect there.
Yeah.
Jake's. Okay, guys, keep talking.
I can't believe that Michigan Alabama game.
Yeah,
it's in the past.
And I thought Alabama was going to get them too. Anyway, but that's beside the point.
Well, Tommy Rees decided to turn Jalen Milroe into Dan Marino.
Mm-hmm.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
I could have told you I tried to tell you guys that was going to happen. Like he doesn't know how to coach a guy like Jalen Milroe.
Yeah,
he just doesn't. You need somebody, honestly. In my doing this Vandy show, I have studied Tim Beck, and the reason why they beat Auburn is because they ran the ball with Pavia effectively. They moved the pocket. They put him in favorable situations to where that pass rush couldn't get to him. And that's why they beat Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama didn't
that and they played hyper aggressive.
Yeah, I mean that's
they were able to snowball confidence.
Yep.
They played hyper aggressive all year. That's why they got shelled by Liberty and Fresno State, because they played hyper aggressive, made a bunch of mistakes, and those teams jumped on it. But that's just their style. That's just what they do. So that's what you'll see Vandy do. They'll play hyper aggressively. Not well at times, but they'll at least put the pedal on the floor. And you'll at least know what they're trying to do, which is a plus.
And
not saying they're
so slow.
Not saying they're going to beat anybody except Auburn, but
that has a chance. That has a chance to be the most hilarious thing ever.
Oh, if they boat race Auburn, oh my God,
that'd be awesome.
I just want that to be the primetime ABC game. That's all I want.
It might happen. Mm-hmm. After they beat Virginia Tech, what? After they beat Alcorn State, what? After they beat Georgia State, what? After they beat Bama, what?
Not beating Bama.
After they beat LSU, what?
Not beating
LSU. Can you imagine if Vanderbilt beat Bama?
It ain't happening.
You know the last time it happened?
I can't remember.
1978, Kurt Page?
The right quarterback, wrong year, 1984.
Yeah, Vandy was decent in the late 70s, early 80s. I think that was George McIntyre.
I remember that.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
They've been pretty good twice in their history. And there was George McIntyre and there's James Franklin, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George McIntyre, isn't that quarterback we just got a commitment from?
That's his grandson.
Is it? Oh,
yes. They are related, truthfully.
Yes.
They are related.
All right.
Yeah, that's actually a thing.
And another thing, Mike McIntyre. I have his playbook from when he coached at Ole Miss, and he's also related to George McIntyre.
Oh wow!
Nice.
The whole McIntyre.
We all bring it together. We had the McIntyre family covered.
The McIntyre.
Yeah,
they're all Brentwood Academy, which until Brentwood Academy fired their coach, he was probably looking like he was going to go to IMG. But now he's going to stay, I think.
And Kent Austin, a Brentwood Academy legend, is the quarterback coach at Auburn.
Go figure. Yeah,
and he was also the quarterback of the first game I ever went to.
1904.
1982. So you're close.
Shit. First ever game you went to? How old were you in 1982?
6.
I was -1 years old.
Wow.
-1. September 8th, 1982, I was -1 years old.
Yep. Ken Austin was quarterback in Ole Miss against Mississippi State. Mississippi State ended up winning that game.
Nice.
So young.
All right, Corey, bring up LSU's schedule.
All right, let's hear it. LSU football. You sure you don't want me to bring up their coaching staff too?
No.
You leave that alone.
I can do it.
They got a chance to win 10 games.
Don't tempt me with a good time. All right, so here we go. Just kidding. All right, schedule. Okay, I know how to work the internet. All right.
They open up with USC.
Yeah, that's fun.
USC in the Vegas kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's it. That is a toss-up.
Yep.
So that's a neutral site game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the
Raiders.
It's at the Death Star.
Nice.
They open up SEC play with South Carolina at South Carolina. If that's a noon game, that thing gets tricky because that place
it doesn't matter. That play, South Carolina is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Looks like LSU is going to be vying for the California State Championship because they play UCLA on September 21st.
Yeah.
I think that's a win.
They play in Baton Rouge, so that's definitely a win.
Yeah.
Deshaun Foster, brand new head coach at UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a dub. South Alabama, obviously.
That's a win.
Home against LSU. Do they play an away game?
Home against who?
Ole Miss.
At home against LSU.
Which they're not going to win that one. No. Ole Miss. He meant Ole Miss.
Tiger Stadium. They welcome Ole Miss. They're at Arkansas.
That's a win.
At A&M.
But both of those can get weird.
Yeah,
the LSU can win those games. At best, they're toss-ups, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arkansas early in the year has a chance to be tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But this is in mid-October. I think they'll boat race Arkansas. I think the A&M game gets tricky. Then November 9th, home against Alabama. Then at Florida. And then home against Vanderbilt.
Win.
And then home against Oklahoma.
My God, they play every game besides like 2 at home.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then LSU plays in the SEC championship. Apparently, they've already got them booked. And then the college football playoff. They're already in. This is fun. Okay. All right.
I think they've got 3 losses. I think they got about 6 wins, and they got 3 toss-ups. So 6-3-3. So I figure 8. That's an 8-4 record.
I can see that
analytically.
9-3, 8-4.
I'm going 9. I'll go 9 wins there. Losses to South Alabama, UCLA, and Nicholls State.
My goodness, if Nicholls took them down, that'd be hilarious.
That would be.
But in reality, they lose to Bama, Ole Miss, and
if Nicholls took them down, how quick would his get?
I don't know. There might be 10 wins on this schedule, guys. Like I don't.
There might also be only 6 wins on the schedule.
I can't confidently say that they're going to lose. I can't confidently say that Oklahoma's going to beat them. I can't confidently say they'll beat the hell out of Florida and Vandy, obviously. But I don't like. They're not going to lose South Carolina.
I think they're losing to Ole Miss. They're losing to Alabama.
Yeah, I said those two.
They get both those teams at home, though.
Those are the only.
But the other ones, the rest of them are toss-ups, though. Let's just take the other thing and put it 4 toss-ups. Odds are you're going to win half of them. You're going to lose half of them. So that would be an 8-4 record.
These toss-ups, I would these toss-ups are more like 70-30 toss-ups.
USC is going to beat them.
I was going to say, they're going to have to score, 60 points to beat USC at least.
Caleb Williams is going to be playing for the Bears next year. So
it doesn't matter. Before Caleb Williams was Kyler Murray, and before him it was Baker. There's always going to be a dude.
Yeah, they're soft.
So is LSU. Did you see that defense?
Their defense needs to improve a lot. That's
got to be by the way. Matt House is gone, but I won't believe USC until I see it, Steve. I just won't.
So is Mason Smith, by the way. So is a bunch of dudes on the defensive front.
I'll believe it when I see it. That's one that I'm not considering a toss-up yet. Maybe they'll change my mind, but I don't consider that a toss-up.
I think at A&M's a toss-up at best.
Mm-hmm.
That's a toss-up. A&M's got some dudes.
And they got a good coach now.
I don't think USC is going to be near as good as they were last year.
I don't think LSU is going to be near as good as they were last year. I think without Jaden Daniels, that team wins 5 games.
I think they got better dudes than USC right now.
I don't.
I think it's a toss-up, like Steve said.
Yeah. And that game being in Las Vegas, a neutral site, you lose that Death Valley
it's
advantage. I mean,
it's almost a home game for USC, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2.5 hours or something from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Both of the fans are going to go to that game.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They might even sit together.
Might do it.
Yeah, I just don't believe in USC. Probably
and LSU always struggles in Fayetteville, by the way. Always.
Well, then I guess that makes that game a toss-up then. But
yeah,
I believe less in USC than more than I believe in LSU.
Yeah. LSU also lost their offensive coordinator, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd they get?
They promoted their wide receiver coach,
Cortez Hankton.
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll be fine.
LSU has to prove to me that they're going to play some defense.
So does USC.
Not so much as LSU, because USC has proven their ability to outscore people. LSU lost that ability.
With who now?
Who
they
there's been generations of quarterbacks that Lincoln Riley's done. And yes, I agree they're sharp and extra soft, but they know how to play that game.
I don't know who's in the pipeline right now, the quarterback. Usually
Yeah.
With Lincoln Riley, you've always known who's next.
Yeah. But there can be no doubt that he's going to have somebody.
Right.
Yeah, but
I would take him over Nussmeier at LSU. Whoever is at LSU, I'd take over Nussmeier.
Let's see who's the starting quarterback at USC.
At USC?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Malachi Nelson, probably. They're going to be in the same boat as Tennessee, starting like a redshirted freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and if it's Malachi Nelson, he's extremely talented.
And it's definitely a quarterback-friendly system. So.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think the question is going to be if LSU's defense has improved, because it was rough last year.
Yeah, they had no defensive backs at LSU, and if you go and play SC with no defensive backs, Lincoln Riley will put 65 on you. And don't get me wrong, Lincoln Riley remembers the last time when Oklahoma played that 2019 LSU team, and LSU put 70 on them.
By the way, Malachi Nelson transferred out into Boise.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
To Boise?
To Boise State.
All right, dude.
They also got
that's weird.
Was it Chris Marshall, the troublemaker that got kicked off of Ole Miss's team? He went up to Boise too. They might be pretty good.
They might be.
Wow.
Looks like Syracuse probably going to have 10 wins this year.
Oh, Steve. Looks like LSU hired Preston Tiffany. They were going to win a national championship now because they hired Preston Tiffany from Ole Miss.
Who I literally cover Ole Miss, and I couldn't have told you who Preston Tiffany was.
He's a person. He's apparently the top.
Yeah, I get that he's a personnel guy. I saw that. I saw
the headlines.
He's one of the best.
I love the headlines, dude. These are hilarious.
Yeah.
Sources: Brian Kelly, LSU nabbed top personnel staffer from SEC rival Ole Miss.
Yeah. I couldn't have told you what he did. I didn't know who he was prior to today.
Football Scoop did a really good job of getting me to click on their article.
Yeah. And this is the whole thing that everybody needs to realize what's going on with these personnel people. You just need to have somebody to do the work. This is a operational type job. You're not sitting here with secret sauce whenever you're looking at a personnel guy. Second of all, LSU hired Austin Thomas, who they think, of course, he's going to bring his guy in the same way that Ole Miss is going to bring in Billy Glasscock's guy from Texas. There's going to be somebody show up there. It's like people just
it's hilarious.
Over drama is what it is.
Yeah, no, I love it, dude. It's hilarious.
Lots of comments are made. Miller Moss is a quarterback for USC, and he threw 6 touchdown passes in their bowl game against Louisville.
There we go.
Him?
So I guess that's what they look like against a high school team. Cool. Well,
ain't no LSU played like a high school team last year.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know, if LSU secondary isn't significantly better than it was a year ago, Lincoln Riley would score 70 points. He will name the score in that game.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't hope it happens, but like I just don't think it'll happen. I just don't think so.
USC hired UCLA's defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he's pretty good.
UCLA had a pretty good defense last year.
Mm-hmm. So maybe the days of USC being Charmin extra soft is over. Of course, I'm joking. I'm sure that's never going to change because every defensive coordinator has been soft at Oklahoma and USC. But
I mean, they're going to have to get tougher if they're going to the Big Ten next year. It's going to be rough up there.
It is absolutely hilarious because Oregon's about to dog walk every one of them.
Yeah,
that's going to crack me up, dude. Because Dan Lanning is about to run roughshod through the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be hilarious. Because I just Sharon Moore is probably the right hire, needed to happen, but he's about to get a nice baptism. Ryan Day's a fraud, and everybody else can't really stack up.
I was going to ask if Michigan can't replicate the success they had last year, how long of a leash does Moore get up there? Probably
3 years at a minimum.
Yeah,
because like he's still got whatever that magic he had when he ran the team for 3 weeks.
When he
not saying Steve
not suspended.
Yeah, not saying that it was like his culture from day one and all his stuff, but perception is that he's a good head coach. Time will tell, obviously.
But
perception.
But he's not.
We don't know that really.
We don't know that he's good either.
Right. No, we don't. We just assume that he's good because he was good for 3 weeks when Jim Harbaugh was suspended, and he's a good offensive coordinator, sort of.
But Jim Harbaugh got to do everything during the week, though.
I know, Steve. I'm with you. I'm on your side on that. But the public.
Michigan's frauds. I'm sorry.
I'm agreeing with you, Steve. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Calm down. I agree. I agree. Okay. Yes, they are frauds.
As Cassidy said.
Corey, you got 2 minutes.
Damn, even Cassidy's on this one. I don't got 2 minutes yet. It's 8:59. We usually go overtime anyway. That's what we do here.
SEC after dark overtime.
So yeah, I think Oregon's about to just annihilate the Big Ten. Like I don't see another Big Ten team like Penn State, bunch of frauds. Wisconsin, they're not any good. Luke Fickell is too like he might be G5. He might be G5 Fickell, like it's G5 Billy.
Sunbelt Billy.
Yeah,
LinkedIn Billy. That's the other one they do. They call him LinkedIn Billy.
Alabama plays Wisconsin this year, third game of the year at Wisconsin.
That's right.
They got Mike Vrabel for at least another week until the 49ers hire him.
Listen, what Wisconsin is not good. Okay, do not get me wrong, but I will say that is likely going to be a tricky ball game for Alabama.
Up there, yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah, Fickle just does all of the American Conference stuff. The hashtag on the back of it's just cheesy. It just seems phony. I hate it.
Does Colorado win 7 more games this year?
7 or more?
They in the Big 12?
No.
They're in the Big 12 this year.
Big 12. So I don't even know what their roster looks like. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say 4 or 5 again. Maybe 6, depending. Let's pull up their schedule. And then Cassidy, you can put me on the clock. All right. Jeez Louise. Colorado Buffaloes. Coach Prime. All right. Let's see. Coach Prime. Let's see. Football. This website has more crap to load. Here we go. All right. Black and gold day game. I think they win that one. North Dakota State.
They'll probably beat North Dakota State, but it's going to be uncomfortable.
Nebraska.
They're not beating Nebraska. Not in Lincoln.
No, not with Raiola. Colorado State.
And they beat them last year. I think they beat them again.
Beat them in double overtime last year.
But where is it?
It's at Colorado State.
It's in Fort Collins.
Yeah.
I still think they win that one.
It's homecoming too.
Toss up.
Homecoming.
No, homecoming might be Baylor. They play Baylor at home.
Yeah. They'll beat Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It'll be an ugly game, but they'll beat them. Central Florida.
No.
They got to travel all the way down to Orlando. Fun.
Kansas State. Hell no.
No, not happening.
Arizona.
No.
Cincinnati.
Maybe.
I think that's a win.
Yeah.
I think they'll win.
Where's the game?
That's a home game.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Home.
Okay.
Texas Tech away.
Oof. Texas Tech can get streaky.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
I'll say toss-up there. Utah.
No.
Kansas in Lawrence.
Toss up.
I don't think so.
No. I'm going to say no. Oklahoma State.
No.
And apparently they're playing the Big 12 championship too.
What was that, 4 wins?
Congratulations.
With a couple of toss-ups?
Hell of a season. Yeah. So 4 or 5 wins. That's about where they are.
Yeah.
That's about where they are. They got a brutal stretch of Central Florida, K-State, and Arizona, though. Good God.
They'll go 0-3 those games.
That's a rough stretch for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see what happened. I just hope that everybody doesn't lose their mind at the beginning of the season anyway.
Well, they're not going to surprise anybody. Because that's what they surprised TCU. Like TCU was supposed to, they were 21-point favorites. They were supposed to boat race them, and they beat TCU. Because TCU doesn't have anybody that can cover Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
All
right, Corey, 2 minutes.
All right. Cassidy, am I officially on the clock? You don't run this show, Steve, anymore. Cassidy runs the show, apparently.
Yeah, she's producer.
She is producer. But no, Billy Napier is not getting fired before Sam Pittman. Love Sam Pittman, but he's not going to last this season. Okay, 2 minutes starting now. Thank you guys for being a part of the show, the chat. Glad you're with us. I have never been on a hunt, so I can't say that I've been bird or rabbit hunting before ever. Want to go, but anyway, this is going to be a fun ride here on the SEC After Dark. Buckle up for the next few weeks because it's going to be just as random as it was tonight because really there's no football and baseball starts this weekend, so we're going to get a heavy dose of that. The Vandy boys, the Dogs, the Detroit Tigers, and I think Ole Miss plays baseball, right?
Hawaii. They got a 4-game set this weekend in Hawaii.
Oh wow.
That doesn't suck. All right. So Jake Thomas, you can catch him. Tide Talk Live. Him and Stacey do a tremendous job. If you're missing out on that show, you're just missing out. And you need to jump on board. Jeb, see all those movies behind you. He's eventually going to review those. And it's eventually going to be really good. Stephen Willis, he's a loomer at Locked On Ole Miss. He's kicking ass and taking names. You can say ass. Let's go ahead.
Nice.
It's not a bad word. You can say it on network television. But he's kicking total ass over there at Locked On Ole Miss. And me, I'm starting to kind of kick some ass at Locked On Vandy. Bleav In Georgia Dawgs. We joined forces in the offseason to do a little non-sports show. We talk movies, although it's going to collide with sports gigs. We're going to do a sports movie, but we did 1923 last year, After Dark commentary. But we are into movie and TV reviews, so that's a fun show. That's a nice little summer show that we put together. So be sure to check that out as well. Thank you to all of you who joined each and every week. Thank you for everyone for subscribing, finding us, and joining in on the fun in the chat each and every week. We appreciate you nonetheless. So for Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, Jake Thomas, I'm Corey Burton. This is the SEC After Dark podcast, coming at you every Wednesday night, presented by DeadSoxy, Stewart's Cajun Dill Pickles, and BetOnline.ag. We'll see you back here next week, better than ever. And until then, go Dogs, anchor down.
Hotty toddy.
Go Vols.
Roll Tide.
And